Teaching honesty, back at you. This is The Climb. So basically, you know what? Let's play a drinking game. Take a shot or take a drink every time I say basically when I'm trying to start a sentence and get myself back on track. I'm just trying to keep myself on track because I ramble, you know what I'm saying? If you guys have watched these yet, I'm sure I jump all over the place. I'm like Quentin Tarantino. I think I may have even said that in one of the episodes. But, okay, so in the last episode, we talked about how I got an offer from YWBMITTY and did the auditions for Team Backpack. So now it's 2016. We are trying to audition for Team Backpack again. They had hosted the auditions in New York that year. We ran a Kickstarter trying to raise money for us to get out there. Didn't really raise enough money, but I did spend that money on publishing substance abuse. Okay, so I told you about how I met Chopper Manhattan. We started working together closely. I don't know if I had talked about it, but there was like a point where I was kind of like real, you know, I was probably fucked up in the head from, you know, even though I decided not to take the offer, I was probably a little depressed and shit. But so I started working with Chopper Manhattan, and there for a while I wasn't really doing shit. Like, I'd show up to a studio, like, I'm surprised that he even kept wanting to work with me, because I'd show up to the studio, I'd get drunk, we wouldn't get anything done, nothing completed. And then finally I completed something with him and showed him that I can actually produce an actual record. So he invites me to do a collaboration with him and another artist from Albuquerque. So he says, I got an idea for a song. I have an idea for this music video as well. So he said, I want to go to this place called Meow Wolf. It's like an interactive, kind of like a amusement park. Not with like rides and shit like that. But it's kind of like, it's hard to explain. It's like a fucking art installation that you can go through. Like, there's all these different rooms and there's a mystery you can solve. It's fucking tight as fuck. It's called Meow Wolf. It's in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Check it out. But we filmed a music video to a song called Busted Weird. So that's available. I'll put the link in the description for the video so you guys can check that video out. But that shit was tight. And so at this point, when we were filming the video, we decided to go in there and do it like guerrilla style. Like, we didn't fucking ask for permission and shit. We were like, we're just gonna go fucking steal these shots whether they like it or not. So they, you know, one of the people on staff tried to come and like talk to us and be like, hey, you know, what are you guys doing? And immediately I like take control of the situation. I'm like, yo, where's your manager? Like, I want to speak to your superior right now. And like, I guess the way that I handled the situation made Chopper feel like, maybe I should like let this dude manage us, because him and his cousin are in a band called Saturday Night Riot. Fucking sick as fuck. And then Chopper does his own thing as Chopper Manhattan. Check out, you know, both of them fucking tight as fuck. So I had been talking about wanting to manage them, you know, trying to push them further and stuff like that. And at this point, I guess, is when he decided, hey, this should be the person who, you know, manages us. So he has to tell his cousin about it. And, you know, we kind of start like jamming together, doing music and stuff. One day when we're jamming, Chopper has to leave. And me and Glenn, his cousin, are like, we're still trying to play music. You know, Norman's there playing guitar. So I was like, you know, we were like, hey, fuck it. If you want to keep jamming, let's do it. So we jam, and there's like something sparks that night. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and fucking Glenn become real fucking close. Fucking spar that evening and shit. Like, after we're done jamming, it's fucking crazy. Like, so we just, you know, we get real close. And he's in another band called Wolfpack Weekend. And they won a contest from one of our local radio stations to play one of the stages at Vans Warped Tour that year in 2016. So I had heard a story about people being on Warped Tour, just kind of like following the tour, and I had previously talked about how I wanted to follow Warped Tour and play in the parking lot, and how we had like talked to Kevin Lyman, or how Homeboy had said he had talked to him, and that he said that he'd give us a chance if we sounded good in the parking lot and stuff. So I'm still trying to hit that target, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, yo, we're gonna get on the rest of this fucking tour. And people kind of, I'm intense. I'm like a real intense person. My fucking dreams are gargantuan, and a lot of people think I'm a little delusional sometimes. Like, they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, you're inspiring, but show it to me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm talking his fucking ear off the night before he's supposed to perform, and he's like, look dude, like, I'm just trying to get some rest. And so we show up the next day. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna fucking sneak into the event with you, and I'm gonna get us on the rest of this tour. His band's not really feeling it. They're like, why the fuck is this guy here? And that's the mission. So they do, they kind of do like band check-in, and it's about an hour before the doors are gonna open for the event, and we're walking around, and I'm just like, fuck it, like asking vendors if they need a driver and shit, you know what I'm saying? And like, we finally find this one dude, and he's like, yeah, I might know somebody. So we're still walking around. We end up meeting the guy that's running their hip hop stage for that year, and they were sponsored by Team Backpack that year as well. And so like, Homeboy finds out that Glenn's a drummer, and he's like, yo bro, we got a kit, and like nobody's using it, and I've been wanting live drums, so fuck it, like, you want to fucking rock a little session. And so homie has Glenn play a set with them, and is vibing with him, and invites him to come on the rest of the tour. He's like, we only got room in our vehicle for you though. And so right after we had met that guy that was running the hip hop tent, some cat walks up to me, and he's like, yo bro, like, you want to try one of these fucking ice cold ices? You know what I'm saying? Like, his name's Tim, Timmy. It's good, bro. Yeah, so he's like, yo, you want to try one of these? These are ice cold ices. They're all natural. No sugar, no problem. Just spitting this spill at me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'll try one, but I don't got no money right now. I'm gonna be walking around like spitting for fucking tips and shit. I'll buy one later. And he's like, you're trying to make money? And I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's like, you want to fucking sell these things all day? I'm like, fuck it, yeah. So I slap on a fucking ice pack, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had these coolers that we'd carry them and shit. I fucking just go around, start selling these motherfuckers all day, right? So at the end of the day, make some decent cash, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking 60, 70 bucks and shit. And I'm like, yo, what's up with the rest of the tour? There's about 3 weeks left on the tour. And he's like, yeah, I don't have any room in my vehicle for you, but if you can manage to get to the next dates, you can sell them every day that we're selling them. So I'm like, okay, fuck yeah. And so I'm immediately like trying to figure out how to get to the next date. And an MC from out here named Defy, what up Defy, is telling me that he's driving to the next date in Arizona. So I'm like, yo dog, like, I'll pitch on gas, like, just let me know. So he's like, I'm still thinking about whether I'm gonna do it or not. And so I'm trying to like find somebody to fucking drive me. Hit up my homeboy Elijah, and I'm like, yo bro, like, I fucking need somebody to drive me on this tour. And he's like, man, I'm trying to keep my job and everything like that. So I didn't hate, you know what I'm saying? And I get hit up by Defy. Defy's like, yo, like, let's go. Like, so I pitch on a tank of gas. We get to Arizona, and you know what I'm saying? Like, homeboy is a little bit like ahead of me as far as like success in the rap world. And so, you know, he's already got shit like on lock. He's like, yo, dog, you want to pitch on a room? I already got the room booked and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Next day, the event started late. So, like, he was like, let's grab something to eat, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? It was good times. It was tight, you know what I'm saying? Getting to know him a little bit better and shit. And so we go and in Arizona sell fucking popsicles the whole fucking day. And, you know, blistering fucking sun, but getting it. Get paid out that night, and I don't know how the fuck I'm getting to the next day. So finally, some dude is like, hey dog, I might know somebody who needs the fucking who needs a driver. So I meet Cat, drive for him to San Diego, and you know, grind out in San Diego. They didn't sell the popsicles that day, but you know, I'm doing other things like fucking just rapping for tips and just doing whatever the fuck, right? Homeboy introduces me to a buddy of his who needs a driver as well. Now at this point, I've been up for like 36 hours. You know what I'm saying? And I tell this cat like, yo, just let me take like a power nap and like grab something to eat at a truck stop, take like a little shower, and I'll fucking get you there. You know what I'm saying? So we get on the highway, and homeboy, like, we're not even on the highway for like 30 minutes, and homeboy must have been that fucking tired. He like fell asleep at the wheel, said he woke up literally right before we're about to fucking smash into this semi, slams on the gas, and that's probably the only thing that didn't fucking kill us. You know what I'm saying? That's probably like the thing that saved us, right? So I wake up and fucking, you know, it looks like the butterfly effect and shit, like everything's shaking, there's a crack in the windshield and shit, and I'm like, I don't even fucking know this dude, but I'm turned and I'm like looking at him, like, what the fuck, bro? You trying to fucking kill me and shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm important. Like, I'm supposed to do something in this lifetime, you know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure those were my quote-unquote actual words or something. So anyway, like, the fucking van won't start, right? And like, I don't know how bad the damage is at this point. And so he pulls over to the side of the road. I have to crawl out the window, and I'm like fucking just still shooken up, you know what I'm saying? And like fucking front end of the fucking van is smashed the fucking crazy shit. So I homeboy had told me, yo, if you don't trust this dude, just give me a call back and I'll go scoop you up. So I call him up and I, hey, I don't fucking trust this guy. He just smashed into the back of a fucking semi, right? So he just happened to be on the same highway, like 2 minutes away. So like literally 2 minutes later, he pulls up, I grab my shit out of the van, hop in his van, and we drive to the next day. You know what I'm saying? It was like Mountain View, California. Fucking amazing venue. Like all kinds of legendary bands have fucking played here. The Who, all kinds of fucking like amazing, legendary, iconic bands have played here and shit. And so I am like on a fucking high. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm invincible. Like not only did I not know how I was gonna get to the next dates, but I survived a fucking car wreck and I'm running around selling these popsicles and everything. I'm like, nothing can fucking stop me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm having a fucking blast. I would have probably made a lot more money on that tour if I wouldn't have just been like, I was, you know, rapping for people and fucking getting in mosh pits with the ice pack on me and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like people are like, this fucking dude who's selling popsicles out here is fucking like in pits and shit. It's crazy.
It's 11 a.m. We're in Portland. I'm already drinking Jack Daniels. It's True Rhymes, unique teaching honesty. Look at all this shit. It's Real Big Fish. It's their tent. What's up?
So, at the end of the day, right, I'm talking to one of the food vendors, and I'm like, yo, dog, like, you guys got anything left? Like, I've kind of learned how to fucking get by living on the road and shit. Like, even that first tour was kind of fucking crazy. Like, there was a point where we did get, like, you know, going into restaurants, like, hey, yeah, man, you guys throwing shit at the end of the day, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Fuck it, we gonna learn it. We gonna fucking learn how to survive. You ain't gonna fucking kill us, motherfucker. Surviving Armageddon out here. Anyway, so yeah, I ask a fucking food truck, yo, you tossing out anything? And so homeboy's like, I'll hook you up with something, dog. He hooks me up, and we're sitting there talking. He's like, yeah, fucking, I'm telling him the story and everything, and he's like, well, shit, bro, while you're asking, you might as well fucking ask this guy for some fucking booze, right? Because we're right next to one of the fucking alcohol vendors and shit, and like, homeboy working the alcohol truck does not give a fuck. Like, this dude is like, oh, go ahead, dog, I don't give a shit. My boss ain't here. I'm like, okay, right? And so homeboy's like, hold on, I'll be right back, and fucking takes off, and this fucking food vendor like just grabs a fucking bottle, like a fifth of vodka, right? And I'm like, oh, fuck it. So I grab one of the fifths. It was only like halfway full or whatever, but homeboy comes back and he's like, here, and gives us more, right? And so I'm like, fuck yeah. And I'm like fucking just really at the point where I needed it. Like, I needed it. I was trying to be cool. Like, homeboy that I was riding with didn't really, like, you know, he was an African dude, so, like, he was on a work visa, and he's like, you know, I'm not trying to fuck that up or whatever, so, like, I don't really want no weed around and shit. So, I'd have to be at each date buying weed and, like, smoking it all the same day before I got back in the van with him, because he's like, nah, man, I don't want that here, right? So, I'm like, fuck it. I'd scored a sack, and chiefed it all up, smashed this motherfucking alcohol, and I'm there, like, you know, talking to fans and everything.
What up, Warped Tour 2016? Portland, make some motherfucking noise. I know it's late in the day. I know you can do it, though. Make some noises for my YouTube channel. I'm T.R.U.T.H. You don't know me, you will. They'll fucking know soon. Where are we going now? Look, are we gonna go to the Journey's tent now? This is the Journey's tent. Make some noise, guys. Make some noise. Like any noise. Like.
Security gets all fucking pissed off, and they're like, you know, get the fuck out of here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, I'm with the tour. And so I hop in dude's van, drunk as fuck, leaving Mountain View. We're at a gas station, and these kids are like, you know, you can already tell they're partying or something, right? And I'm fucking, yo, were you guys at Warped Tour? And they're like, nah, we just came from this fucking big ass rave and shit, right? We're all fucking mollied out. And I'm like, I want some motherfucking molly. And so they're like, here, fuck it. And they bust me out a big ass rail at their car and shit. And I'm like, fuck it, all right. Boom, let's hop in this motherfucking van. We're going now, right? Anyway, so drugs are bad, kids. They are not for everybody, and it is not a joke. It can become an issue, and they can alter your mind state and affect your decision making. And I don't necessarily endorse everybody doing drugs. Now, having said that, I fried my motherfucking balls off. Funniest fucking story in the world, right? Not only did I fucking drop this molly, right? But we ended up at a truck stop, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get a sandwich, right? And fucking Prof's in line. I didn't know who he was at this point, and all I see is a cat with a Rhymesayers shirt on. It was his buddy, like, you know, one of his crew members and shit. And I'm like, yo, are y'all with Prof? And Prof looks at me and like, yeah, bro. And he realizes that I'm like not fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? He thinks that I'm kind of trolling and just being a dick. And then he realized, oh, he really doesn't know who I am. So he's like, I'm Prof, bro. And I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, Snapchat. Anyway, so, you know, we go to LA, and LA was a great fucking show. We had like a day off in between Vegas and LA. And so homeboy, like, man, I owe this dude. Like, he really took care of me.
What are your thoughts, man? Warped Tour 2016. How you feeling, bro? Feeling tired? Son, how you feeling?
What's up?
Tell me more about you feel.
Chicken. That's how I feel. How I feel.
Delicious foods. That's what we're eating. Look, everybody's kicking it. I don't know where I decided I was just like gonna adopt this fucking crazy Steven Tyler voice. I think I'm gonna do Christopher Walken tomorrow. Yeah, just doing it.
Shit, man, you know what I'm saying? We couldn't find a fucking hotel. Like, I didn't have my ID or my fucking credit card. I guess it had fallen out of my fucking pocket in Glenn's car right before we got on the fucking tour, right? So I don't have my bank card, I don't have my fucking ID, and I can't get a fucking hotel or anything. And so homie just kind of like parks me in the parking lot of this little like strip mall in downtown LA. And like I just sleep in his van, you know what I'm saying? Go kick it inside of a fucking like Best Buy or something that morning and fucking, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna charge my phone and shit. Anyway, just Roadhouse. Like, that's what fucking Roadhouse is. If you guys fucking have ever heard me say Roadhouse, or, you know, I put it as a hashtag or anything like that, like, Roadhouse Entertainment is the company that we're trying to start. And basically it's like we live on the road, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, we're fucking scrubby ass kids. A lot of us were homeless at one point, you know what I'm saying? And like, touring is almost like being homeless. So finish out the rest of the tour with him. We go to Vegas the next night. The next day, check it out. We're just walking around. We ran into Kevin Lyman.
Cool, man.
Check it out. I almost died.
I
almost fucking died the other night, man. I fucking wrecked into the back of a semi truck in somebody else's van. I've been hopping in different people's vans.
Oh, jeez.
We're alive. Who's the vendor?
Are they okay?
They are okay. We actually came out without a scratch.
Was it on the way up here?
It was on the way to Mountain View.
Oh, jeez.
It was an amazing experience. I had to crawl out of the window and hop in somebody else's car.
Oh,
this is the man that made Warped Tour happen.
Wow. After that story.
Amazing. This man right here is the reason why we all get to live our fucking dreams. Thank you so much, sir.
Guys. Thank you. Enjoy the day today.
And I meet a cat from, I think he's from Philadelphia. Anyway, I met this cat. His name was Jake, and he has a company named Packy. Check it out. Introduce yourself, bro.
Oh, we're out here clipping bananas. My name's Jake. I own a record label called Packy. Packy Records, Packy Films, Packy Skateboards, Packy Streetwear, Packy Bananas.
Pass along knowledge yourself. He's a real fucking cool dude. And hooks me and Glenn up with acid, right?
Hey, fucked, Glenn, fucked. Hey, yo.
It's ridiculous. Warped Tour 2016.
Water.
This is your all access pass. We in Vegas right now. Look at this shit. Look at it. It's ridiculous. You should be here. Why are you not here right now? I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, let's do it. We're in Vegas, fucking Warped Tour. Like, let's go. So, that morning, like, the stage that he was like next to was like posted up next to they have like a club called Rehab in the Hard Rock Hotel, and it's like a, you know, there's a pool area and it looks like a beach. There's sand and everything, and you know, I'm over here fucking ridiculous, jump in the pool, phone's in my pocket, fry my fucking phone and everything, wet, like everything in my pocket's all floating in the water and shit. And so he's like, yo, want this acid? Fucking drop the acid, frying fucking balls.
Wait, hold up. Let me get that. Hold up.
I'm filming him, filming me, filming you.
Filming this guy.
This guy's still drunk right now.
Oh, I'm
We're in
drunk.
fucking Vegas, Hard Rock Casino. Poolside, baby. Poolside, look at that. That's what we get to do in our life. Live your bliss. Woo. Caught Prof show. He was tight. You know what I'm saying? I became a fan after that. Go back to one of the dude's brother's houses. I guess, you know, one of the vendors on the tour invited us back to his family's crib. They made a big old feast. Fucking amazing experience, you know what I'm saying? Just eating some authentic, like, you know, African cuisine and shit. And we head out the next day, a whole day of driving and shit, you know, which was great because I was coming down off that fucking acid like fuck, and like and looking at all this open space driving, like, oh shit. Discovered this tight ass band called Tonight Alive. Yeah.
All right, motherfuckers, we about to take you on a little fucking trip right now. We're gonna just like show y'all the chaos. This is like a fucking labyrinth every day. Every day it's a fucking labyrinth. Every day the labyrinth fucking changes. This is Tonight Alive's tent. Tonight Alive's badass. I discovered them. Hold on, I'm blessed. I'll be back. I discovered them on the tour. Check them out. Tonight Alive. They're fucking badass. Everybody scream. You're on my YouTube channel.
They were tight as fuck. Like, I was in San Diego, and they were playing, and just like there was like this monologue that homegirl did, like at the end of one of her songs and shit, and it was like about following your dreams and shit like that. And you know, we're like, yeah, we're making it, motherfucker. Like, we're making it happen. So got really into that band. It's fucking jammed their fucking CD. It was like homeboy's favorite band on the tour. Jammed their fucking CD the whole time, just geeking out. Yeah, tight shit. Get to Idaho, we didn't make money. Oh, and we weren't allowed to sell in Vegas either. They didn't want us like to fuck up the you know, they didn't want trash everywhere and shit or something, so we didn't get to fucking sell them there. So my pockets is hurting right now. We get to Idaho, pockets hurt even worse. You know what I'm saying? Met Waka Flocka. That was hilarious, right? Somebody was like, oh, y'all should fucking rap battle, and I like laughed, right? And his manager's like looking at me, or whoever, I don't know if it was his manager, but they seemed like they were part of his management team and shit. This woman's like looking at me like, who the fuck do you think you are? I for some reason didn't think Idaho was gonna be that hot, and I had ran out of clothes at this point. Like, I hadn't done laundry and shit, you know, didn't really have a chance to do laundry. I guess I could have done it in LA, I didn't think about it. So homegirl from one of the other tents gave me like this tiny ass fucking bright yellow tank top. Didn't fit me very well. It was very tight, and I got a fucking wild fucking sunburn. Like, I literally had tan lines for like 6 months after this. But yeah, I got a wicked fucking sunburn out there in Idaho. And next day was fucking what, Seattle?
We over here in Washington State, getting ready to start setting up. I usually like to walk around. I like to walk around the venue and get out before everybody does all their jobs and stuff. For real though, they got a dope ass fucking amphitheater around here. Check it out. Tons, thousands of kids are gonna be here, filling it up, giving me all their money. This is your all access pass, Warped Tour 2016. Washington. We're on our way to Portland next. Look at all this hard work. There's so much hard work that goes into us being able to fucking come and rock out. We appreciate you guys, Warped Tour crew, everybody, Monster crew, fucking everyone, the roadies. We fucking appreciate all y'all, man. Y'all do such a great job out here, for real.
And then last day of the tour.
What up? Man, it's the last day of Warped Tour, but it ain't over until the fucking fat lady sings, so we still setting up. About to give y'all a hell of a show, Portland, Oregon. Y'all ready for this, motherfuckers? This is the hip-hop tent. They're setting up the hip-hop tent over here. All right, guys, this is going on my YouTube, so if you guys want to shamelessly plug yourselves right now, I would do that.
Yo, my name is T.R.U.T.H. I'm from Orlando, Florida. You know what I'm saying? We out here at Warped Tour 2000. That's not how I talk. My name's T.R.U.T.H. I'm from Orlando, and we rockin' Warped Tour 2016. I'm over here with my boy Truth. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up.
Ooh, guess what we about to do?